Good day, everyone. I'm Lewis.
And I'm Kevin.
And welcome to Good
Critic,
Critic,
Bad
Bad Critic. Hey, Kevin, guess what I got planned for today's review?
Watch. It's gonna be a superhero movie, most likely Batman, a fantasy movie, most likely Lord of the Rings, or a Disney animated movie.
It's an animated Disney film.
Oh wow, what are the odds? You know what? I'm not gonna do this. You're on your own, buddy. You're the Disney fanboy.
It's Mulan, though.
2020 or 98?
98.
Fine.
Based on the ballad of the same name, Mulan was released in 1998 during the Disney Renaissance, where we have gotten some of the most iconic Disney films of all time. I'm talking The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and don't get me started on Lion King.
What do you want me to add? I didn't grow up with Disney. I'm more of a Pixar guy. If it's not Aladdin or The Emperor's New Groove, Lewis is your Disney guy.
When the film initially released, it got positive reviews, but it wasn't beloved by both critics or the general audience. However, nowadays it has skyrocketed in popularity and is generally considered an underrated classic.
And since we saw the 2020 remake, I wanted to take a look back at the original to see how it garnered such popularity in recent years.
I'm just gonna destroy it to its last atom, just so I can stick it to Lewis.
Whatever gets you on board, buddy. Let's begin.
After the opening credits, the film fades into the Great Wall of China, where it's attacked by the Hun army, led by Shan Yu, an overall great establishment of the threat. The Emperor hears of this and declares that a male member of every family join the army.
We cut to Mulan making notes. Actually, scratch that, she's about to cheat as she does her chores in the laziest and problematic way possible.
She isn't lazy per se, it just shows that she's very resourceful.
In the most messy and inconvenient way possible, she heads to her mother and grandmother, who basically caused mass murder just to prove that a cricket is lucky, who prepare Mulan for the matchmaker. And it's a musical. Wait, this is a musical?
Well, yeah.
Oh, what did I got myself into?
Well, these songs are actually very catchy, and they're some of the more memorable parts of the film.
Listen, man. I'm not gonna play any of these songs and have the greedy mouse breathing down my neck just because you like these stupid songs. So Mulan meets up with the matchmaker but fails because of cricket shenanigans. I never thought I'd say that.
Mulan returns home in shame, thinking about how she doesn't know who she is and what her real purpose can be.
Another song. 5 minutes later. This movie really wants to give me a stroke, huh?
Her father tries to comfort her. However, it's cut short when the army arrives and drafts the males of their community, including her ill father. She protests his decision, but he yells back at her. While she brews at the statue, she decides to take her father's armor and sword as she heads off to the army. Her father finds out and worries that if they find out her identity, they would kill her.
That plot point is kinda rushed, to be honest. I wish there was more scenes that expanded on the father and daughter relationship to give the payoff a little more impact.
I believe there's enough scenes that show how much she respects him and that he loves her. I think it's clear why she would sacrifice herself for him.
That's fine and all, but adding 1 or 2 more scenes wouldn't hurt.
The grandmother asks the spirits to look over Mulan, and they come back from the grave with the help of a small dragon named Mushu to argue about how much of a failure Mulan is.
Harsh, I know, but a lot of relatives are like that.
They decide to send their most powerful guardian to protect her, and they send Mushu to wake him up. It doesn't work out. Seeing this as an opportunity to get his job back, Mushu heads to find Mulan. We cut back to the Huns as they have captured 2 of the Emperor's scouts and are interrogated by Shan Yu, who explains that he felt challenged by the Emperor's wall and wants to show his superior might.
So basically, who has the biggest dick contest?
Well, gosh dang, you're right.
Mulan reaches the camp and meets Mushu, who explains that he was sent by the ancestors to help her out. They head into camp where Mushu tries to show her the basics of being a man.
Honestly, this is how I imagine Lewis going into a public man's room.
And you're not even wrong for saying that.
She runs into 3 guys named Yao, Ling, and Xing Po, who cause her trouble, which quickly derails into chaos, until we are introduced to General Shang, who wants to prove to his father that he can run the army. Shang gets them into order and asks for Mulan's name, in which she picks Ping. Next day, Mulan arrives to her first day of training, where Shang trains the army through a montage and an amazing song.
Oh! Make a man out of you! Dude! Even though I barely remember this movie, this song is an absolute banger. Like, the lyrics and beat are really... It's decent at best. It's the only song I can tolerate despite how f***ing cheesy it is.
Well, Kevin, if you like it, I'm not gonna judge you. Heck, we could probably play it here.
We're gonna get a copyright strike, Lewis.
We could just play a little bit of it.
Fine, but just 1 second. That's it. No more. Lewis, you mention this to anyone and I'll rip your lungs out.
I would like to see you try.
So you're challenging me?
It's not meant to be a challenge.
Well, I'm taking it as a challenge.
Kevin, you're turning into Shan Yu.
Man, go f yourself.
Love you too.
After Mulan's embarrassing encounter with the boys, what the fuck was that line? I can't believe we wrote that. Mushu writes a fake war call letter with his Cricket typewriter, which sounds ridiculous saying it out loud. Also, how the hell does a Cricket know perfect Chinese letters?
Well, it could be a Chinese cricket.
I'm sending you an email right now.
What for?
Just open it!
Alright, I'll take a look at it.
Hi. If you have received this message, then Kevin is politely asking you, please go to hell.
No.
So with that, they deliver the message in a panda? How the hell did they get a panda?
Well, who wouldn't want to write a panda?
Hello? Peter? I'd like to file a claim. Damn it, it's a calculator.
The troops are sent up the mountains where the soldiers have a song about the type of women they would like to have after the war, before fighting a village that was destroyed by Shang Yu.
What the fuck was that? That has got to be the biggest total slap I have ever seen. First, we have the musical number about how thirsty these guys are, and then boom, genocide. Actually, now that I think about it, this movie has a lot of tonal problems. I honestly don't know when I'm supposed to laugh or take this movie seriously, because we have comedy relief characters like Mushu and the Cricket, which completely ruined the mood of the movie, by the way, and some very happy musical numbers. But yet, it has moments where the color palette is gritty, there's brutal imagery, and on top of all, it's a war movie. It's like this film doesn't know how to make up its goddamn mind.
I would have to disagree. The film makes it very clear which scenes you're meant to laugh and which you're supposed to take seriously. Not all of the songs are happy-go-lucky and do take a more somber tone, and as for the tone shift, I think that was a brilliant move. Think about it, these naive soldiers are singing about ladies and hooking up, and then get slapped with the real horrors of war. That's an amazing contrast that tells our characters to take the threat seriously.
Louis, that's not my problem. My problem is how these scenes are written and paced. At one point, you're happy and bright, only for the next cut to be serious and dark. There's no fade in or build up to this type of tonal shift, which makes it very jarring.
First off, not all the scenes are like that. We got an idea that Shan Yu would attack the village. Second off, I think this movie knows when to change the tone to progress the story, from Mulan's decision to go to war, or the ancestors bickering like an old folks home. And when they do change the tone suddenly, it has a point or purpose to the plot and characters.
Well, to you, it may seem okay, but for me, I feel like they didn't do it properly. Maybe it's because it's a war film, and I don't think it's appropriate to have something like comedy and something as serious as war.
And it's a Disney film, exploring the reality of wars wouldn't exactly fit.
You say that, but Hunchback of Notre Dame, they explored it in that.
And it's one of their most controversial and least successful films.
But they have done it regardless.
After seeing the remains of the village and the army, they continue up the mountain until their position is exposed by Mushu.
Are you f***ing kidding me? I really hate this character. He destroys every single scene he's in.
Well, it's more like he puts the characters in mortal danger, not really destroying the tone.
But he still ruined everything for everyone. Kinda like you.
This causes an ambush by the Huns, forcing the soldiers to waste their cannons before confronting the main army led by Shan Yu, and boy is it massive!
Not as big as my depression.
Are you okay, Kevin?
So Mulan uses the last rocket to shoot at a mountain and cause an avalanche, defeating the Huns but also affecting her troops. They manage to survive, and Mulan passes out from her injuries. Later, when they treat her wounds, they find out, dun dun dun, she's a woman? Oh my god! Louis, did you ever knew?
Well, yeah, we've known since the beginning of the movie.
It's a joke, pendejo.
Mulan is kicked out of the army, and she shares an intimate moment with Mushu before heading back home. However, she notices Shan Yu and his forces rise from the snow and heading to the Imperial Palace, motivating her to go ahead to warn them. She's ignored by Shang and the others, but the Huns get inside and capture the Emperor. Mulan figures out how to enter the palace with help from her friends dressed in drag. Oh, and Shang tags along too. The soldiers deal with the guards, Shang saves the Emperor, and Mulan confronts Shan Yu. She pins him on the roof, and Mushu uses a firework to blow him up. The Emperor, grateful for Mulan's accomplishment, offers her a position next to him, but she refuses and heads back home. She has a heartwarming reunion with her father, and Shang pays her a visit, clearly attracted to her. The film ends with Mushu being accepted as a guardian and throwing a party.
And that was Mulan. And I gotta say, this was truly a gem of a Disney film.
Mulan is a likable character to follow, and her journey from normal villager to hardened warrior is engaging to go through. Side characters are fantastic and support the main character wonderfully. Mushu serves as good comedy relief in a way only Eddie Murphy could accomplish. The animation per usual is amazing, Shan Yu is a legitimate threat, and the movie's theme of discovery of oneself really is impacting for today's era.
It's no wonder this film has garnered such a following nowadays. I give it a 9 out of 10.
I have a level of respect for this movie, but it's really not my thing. The clashing tones is all over the place and it's annoying to follow and tolerate. The comedy most of the time is unnecessary, but there are some okay stuff in there. I have no complaints on the characters aside from the comedy relief characters, but I completely forgot about the villain until Lewis mentioned him. The pacing is a little bit too fast, but not too noticeable, and some story beats really didn't land, but it doesn't hurt the movie too much. Honestly, it's a Disney movie. What can I expect from it? 7 out of 10.
If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, sharing, subscribing, pressing the bell icon, or leave a simple comment.
Or you simply could just not do that. It really does not matter in the end.
Aside from that, I hope you all have a wonderful
Or terrible
rest of your day. Alright, Kevin, now that you've seen both versions, which do you prefer?
To be honest with you, man, they're both pretty f***ing garbage.
Oh, come on, pal. The numbers don't lie.
There.
Very mature.
Hey, you said it yourself. Numbers don't lie.
No doggy. Bad. Okay, Kevin. Bad doggy.
It seemed okay to you. For a minute, I thought it had a hat on.
What's on this restroom?
What? Oh my god. Great.